Hi, I'm Pascal. I'm an EUC Consultant, and in this video I want to discuss the NSX for Horizon use cases. And I've drawn here the Horizon stack with all the components that are used for connections from the users externally, connections from the users internally in the management zone, and externally in the external facing DMZ. We have the virtual desktop infrastructure and application infrastructure, and we have some infrastructure services that host those desktops and those applications in different blocks. The host will be prepared with the NSX components so that they will introduce the first use case, and that is distributed firewalling. So we can put a firewall around the virtual desktop to prevent or to allow certain network traffic. For example, we disallow the east to west inter virtual desktop communication, so that the user that is logged onto that virtual desktop cannot connect to other desktops in the same networking, but that user can connect to the certain application service that they want to use. So the first use case, micro-segmentation. And within micro-segmentation we have the static ruling, so the things that we need for the Horizon stack to function. So we know that UART traffic needs to be connected to the connection server, so that traffic is allowed. The connection servers need to connect to the applications, or the UART needs to connect to the virtual desktop, so that traffic is allowed. But we also have some traffic that we can do based on user groups, so identity distributed firewalling. When a user that is logged onto this virtual desktop wants to connect to the HR application and is within the directory group for the HR application, the north-south traffic is allowed. But Jennifer from a different department in a different directory group wants to connect to the same application but isn't in that directory group, that is disallowed. Second use case we have with NSX for desktop is guest introspection. So we have a guest introspection agent or component from the VMware tools, and a third-party component that investigate how the desktop behavior is done or how the user session behavior is done. If there's something amiss, for example, the user has clicked on some malware, then the third-party solution in combination with NSX will block the traffic from that virtual desktop so that the virtual desktop can be investigated, what kind of malware or what kind of behavior was amiss. And we have our second use case, and that is guest introspection. A third use case that we can use NSX in combination with the Horizon stack is if we have availability requirements that we need, for example, a second connection server or a third or a fourth, depending on how much user sessions will go through that connection server. We have the option to use NSX load balancing to load balance the connections between those connection server, and we can also put it into the UAGs if we have the same requirement over there, and we can put the load balancing service there. Even outside of the Horizon stack we can use those load balancing, for example, if we have some applications that require some form of availability and where the application can use that availability, we can put a load balancer there as well. So we have our third use case, load balancing. In the next videos we were going to dive a little bit deeper into the separate use cases. Until then, thank you very much and see you.